What if you could just upload a photo and the AI automatically analyzes it, thinks like a professional retoucher, and sends precise instructions that fixes everything for you completely automatically? So far, every AI retouching tool that we have used still needs some kind of an input. You decide how much blemishes to remove, how much dodging and burning, which is a good thing. But what if there was a system that actually thought like a professional retoucher and dialed everything on its own? Let's see it in action. All you do is upload your photo and hit play. It uses ChatGPT to analyze the image, think like a professional retoucher, and writes detailed instructions for high-end magazine quality retouching while keeping the original skin texture and all the natural details intact. In this video, we'll test this system against a variety of extremes. We'll also deconstruct and learn how to build this workflow so you can create your own for anything, like creating advanced makeup absolutely automatically. We'll learn the best practices to use this in your actual professional workflow and also learn about the limitations that you should be absolutely careful about towards the end of the video. So without any further ado, let's get started. To create node-based AI workflows like we did right here, simply go to freepik.com and then click on Spaces. Now the good news is you don't have to create anything from scratch. Freepik team and I have created this high-end retouching workflow. You can just click on the link and directly access this space. It's already made for you with instructions everywhere. All you need to do is to follow those instructions. First of all, let's upload our photo by clicking on Replace. Simply drag and drop your photo and click on Use Image. Now once the image is uploaded, just hit the play button and click on Run from here. You would notice that this would consume 451 credits depending upon the resolution that you're generating and the number of generations you're making. You can always reduce it and even make the credits 0. Totally unlimited. We'll get to that later in the video, but for right now, I'm just gonna generate an absolutely 4K resolution and make 3 generations using the latest AI models with ChatGPT and Google Nano Banana. So right now it has written the instructions looking at the image and it's generating right here. If you're wondering how I'm moving across the workspace, just hit the spacebar, the cursor changes to a hand, and then you can click and drag to move anywhere. It'll be interesting to see if it can detect the dark circles and remove them. If you look at the image, you can clearly see the dark circles, and even in the prompt, it automatically pointed out the dark circles, and therefore in our results, it removed them absolutely naturally. Let's take a look at the first one. Here's the first option, perfectly done, second option, and even the third option. Now, if you want, you can always click on this button right here. It'll just push it out and you can link it to something else. And by the way, you can also download them by clicking on the download button. If you wanted to download one of these generations, just open them up and click on the download button. Now you would notice that although this is the full image, we only took a cropped portion of it, which is this one, and processed that with the Freepik tool. And there's a big reason why, that is resolution and credits. As you can see, this is a very high resolution photo. And Nano Banana has a limit of 4K. And if you want unlimited results, you would even have to lower the resolution. So when you crop the image to only the area that you want to retouch, you would notice now the resolution is much lower, only 2K. Now this gives us unlimited flexibility, literally unlimited. Let me show you how. If we were to change the resolution of Nano Banana from 4K to 2K and actually go to settings, and we want to make sure we turn on unlimited on if you have an unlimited plan, and then increase the number of generations back to 3. And also for model, instead of GPT 5.2, what if we choose GPT 4.1 mini? Now when you click on the play button, you would notice that this consumes 0 credits. It might not be the absolute best, but what if it is? What if you just cannot tell the difference because the resolution is 2K when it's cropped anyway? Now there's another third advantage of cropping. Whenever we feed square images and set the aspect ratio to 1:1 in Google Nano Banana, the results are more often than not very consistent. Now that we have the results done, let's download one of these. I'm just gonna drag it and drop it over the original image in Photoshop. Hit enter or return. One of the things you can try is select the background layer, press Ctrl or Command J to make a copy. Select this layer, rasterize it actually, right click on it and then choose rasterize layer. Select both the layers. Hold the Ctrl or Command, select the second layer and then go to Edit, Auto Align Layers. Keep everything automatic and click on OK. So that's one of the ways if you don't mind letting go of smart objects, but I prefer a cleaner way, which we'll discuss later. Now let me share with you the full workflow on how to do this with absolute high quality resolution. Say here's the full high resolution photo. You can crop it right here in Photoshop and then export it, or you can also upload the full image and crop it directly in Freepik. I'm going to click on replace and then actually upload the full image. Now, as you hover over the photo, you would notice several buttons. One is for editing the image. Click on that. Now simply click on the crop button and let's choose square 1:1 and crop it to keep only the areas where you need the retouch. Once you're happy, click on done. And now of course you can play the same workflow by clicking here, run from here. Now this time I'm doing it in 4K, absolute high quality. We have the instructions ready and we have our image edited. Let's pick any one of those. So I'm gonna go with second one and actually download it. And by the way, if you want to download all the 3 photos in the list, just click on the list and click on the download button. It will create a zip file if you save it. And inside that zip file, you will find all these 3 photos. This gives you a lot of options to try inside of Photoshop directly. Let's bring in one of these. Keep in mind this is in high-res 4K. Hit enter or return. Now to keep the smart object active, I'm not going to do anything but change its blend mode to difference. This helps us align the image. Press Ctrl Command T and let's make it smaller. Align just one of the eyes or one of the areas absolutely accurately. Once you do that, hold the Alt key or the Option key and click right there to take the anchor point right there. If you cannot see the anchor point or the reference point, simply click on this check mark and then hold the Alt key or the Option key and make the image larger from there. And everything should perfectly align. Hit enter or return and change the blend mode back to normal. Now to keep more precision, hold the Alt key or the Option key and click on the mask button with that layer selected. This will create a negative mask. Then you can take the brush with white as the foreground color and with a soft round brush, just simply paint over the areas only where you need it. This gives you so much more flexibility, much better result, and keeps it very, very natural. There you go. This is so good. So here's the before and here's the after. Now let's create your own workflow and you can create anything with it, and this will give you so many ideas, even restoring old photos, makeup, or any kind of retouching that you wish, anything you want. First of all, let's open Freepik. If you want to create unlimited workflows, I'm going to leave details in the description, and then click on Spaces. Now there are several templates here available as well. Just click on New Space to start from scratch. So whenever you're creating a space in Freepik, you need to figure out what's going to be your input and what is the desired output you want. In this case, we will start with the input, which is an image. So let's click on Media. Here you can drag and drop anything just as a placeholder and click on Add Media. You can always replace this image with your image just as we did before. What is our final result? We want a retouched image generated. So let's right click here and we will choose Image Generator. Simply choose the model that you want to use. I'm going to choose Google's Nano Banana Pro or Nano Banana 2. That is up to you. Let's keep it Pro for now. And then you can click on the settings icon and choose the resolution from here because you can turn on unlimited from here. So let's go with 2K so that we can turn on the unlimited and leave it at that. And then you choose how many generations you want. I'm going to pick 3. That's enough for me. And the aspect ratio, I'm just going to upload square all the time. So keeping it 1:1. Now for this generation to happen, we want 2 things, the prompt and this image itself. So how do we make the link? For the prompt, we will ask ChatGPT to create the prompt for us. So in between, right click, and this time we will choose Assistant. And this is simply a text model. Now you can type in something like, analyze this image and write a detailed prompt to do high-end retouching. That's it. Of course, you can go as detailed as you want, but I'm going to keep it at that. Now let's make the link. Now this needs to analyze this image, so we need to make that link. So from this image, I'm going to make a link till here. Let's give all of these some breathing room. Now whatever prompt this will generate, where does it need to go? To the image generation. So we will create a link to the image generation. So now the image is going here. It's analyzing the image, creating a prompt, and the text prompt is going here. But this image generator still does not have one thing. And what is that? A reference image. So this reference image also needs to be linked here. Now this is a basic workflow that we have created. Since we have chosen GPT-5 Mini, it doesn't consume any credits in my plan. If we were to choose something like 5.2, it will possibly consume 1 credit, and this was already unlimited anyway. Now I would recommend once you have created this, simply refresh the page a bit. The right options may not come properly, and this fixes that. If you click on the play button, you can just run this node only, which means just create the prompt. Or if you click on run from here, it runs the entire workflow. So just click on the play button and choose run from here. It automatically is taking this image, analyzing it, and once the prompt is written, see the animation there? The prompt goes into the image generation. It's also taking in the image, and we have the result, and that's pretty darn natural. It also creates a list. Now, this is a bit weird, but these two are pretty amazing. Now, using the same concept, we created a super easy to use makeup space, and you'll find it in the same retouching space that we created for you, the link to which is in the description. Once you access this page, just go to the right, hold the spacebar, click and drag to the right, and you will notice that there's one for makeup. Simply let's click on replace, and actually let's go with this previous photo. Why not? Use image. Now you can type in whatever makeup style you want right here. Let's keep it at that and click on the play button and click on run from here. Oh my gosh, all of the results are pretty impressive. Here's the first, second, third. Now obviously I'm not a makeup professional, you guys know it best, but if I were to type in something simple, dark red lipstick and maybe slight blush. Let's play that again. See what it does. And this just is indeed in another level. And it did all of that perfectly. Just look at the lipstick. Now this got me curious. Of course, we can run an entire retouching routine on this one, but what if we directly input this for makeup here? I still have just the poor, simple makeup. You guys can help me with that. Let's run that again. Now it will be interesting to see whether it also retouches or hides the blemishes in the process. Interesting. It did not remove all of those blemishes. It keeps all of that stuff because we did not instruct it to do so. And if you wanted to do the entire retouching too, you can type in all the prompt at one place or take it through the entire retouching routine. This is if I want just the natural result, or you can take one of these results, put it in the makeup section, and now you have a makeup with retouching. Now this system is not without its limitations and the things you should be careful of. To start with, there is a limit to the resolution. Nano Banana at the maximum can generate 4K. If you look into some unlimited plans, 2K is the maximum resolution you can create as of now. Now, although this creates a problem where you just cannot upload the entire photo, you just crop the area where you need to retouch. It should be a square to maintain consistency, and then you can process only that cropped area inside of Spaces, bring it back into Photoshop and align it. Now it can create issues when you have to retouch the full body and it's a 50 megapixel image. The second limitation is it uses a lot of credits, especially if you're making multiple generations, that too in 4K using the most intensive models. But the solution is if you are in one of the unlimited plans and if you choose the right resolution and the right models, you can generate unlimited. The next limitation with any AI is that it generates a completely new set of pixels, which is something you may or may not want. In this example, here's the before. As you can see, there are blemishes, there are things that we need to fix. Here's the after. This did a pretty amazing job. But if you were to zoom in, you would notice it may not be the same eye anymore. Here's the before, here's the after. In these cases, a little bit of masking goes a long way. You can click on the mask button, take the brush, with black as the foreground color, just bring back the original details of the eye, like so, or wherever you would like to bring back some original details. If you were to compare this with retouching plugins, it keeps everything intact because it's not generating any detail. Let's go to Filter, Retouch for me, here. It automatically detects the blemishes and removes them. Now to save your time, I've done the entire process with Retouch for me with its dodge and burn. As you can see, the entire process is done from the skin tone, eye contrast, eye cleanup, depth, dodge and burn, a lot of these things. So let's group all of them. So here's the retouching plugin without generating anything, and here is the AI result. Both of them can be very different, but mostly you have to really zoom in to see it. However, the retouching plugins struggle to work on the extremes or do high-end makeup. For example, on this one, when I tried applying automatic retouching plugins, this is the result that I got, and it didn't even do everything. But when I did it with Freepik Spaces, this is the result that I got. It took care of everything, but at the cost of little changes, as you can see right here. But we can mask it out anyway. Tools like this are insanely powerful, but they work best when they work alongside your existing workflow, not as a complete replacement. What separates you as a professional from someone who just knows AI is that you know what is great and what is mediocre. Now, although I will still continue to use methods that maintain the original resolution, pixels, and control, tools like this are an incredible addition for quick edits, areas that are impossible, or if you want to try a different direction. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give us a like, and also don't forget to subscribe, and not just subscribe. Ring the bell so that you, my friend, don't miss any other future tips, tricks, or tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.